Hello, gamers! Welcome back to episode 2 of the Weeb Couch. We've got this far, people. It's all downhill from here. As always, I'm Mason, and as always, joining me,
Dan, sup? Why'd you call us gamers?
we are epic gamers. This week, we have two great games. The games in particular are what I'm excited for this week. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
I'm very excited for this episode. If you can't tell already. Yeah. Why don't we just jump right in?
Jump right into it.
Let's just do it. So before we get to our two brand new, from what I've heard from you, Dan, both of them are great games. Let's get into the anime section. So what I've been watching recently is not a new anime. It's from 2007, but it has quickly become one of my favourite shows. That show is Black Lagoon. Now, it's sort of a cult hit, I guess. It's sort of you wouldn't really have heard about it. There's no manga, or should I say, it's an anime original. The manga came afterwards, and it is it's the most darkly funny thing I think I've ever seen. Sometimes it's intentionally funny. Sometimes it's funny just how dark it can get. So I should probably outline what it is. It's a pirate story, of like a modern day pirate story.
Not like One Piece.
not like One Piece. No, very much not like One Piece. Just for context, I personally watched it dubbed, which I know, scum of the earth. And all that, shoot me, crucify me, whatever. I watched it dubbed, mainly because I couldn't find a sub anywhere, kind of like Death Note, and you just can't find the sub. You just can't.
Because you're too busy taking a potato chip and eating it.
To be honest, I would love to hear how that sounds in Japanese.
Oh god! Right, back on topic. Back on
topic. So, this anime currently holds the record for the most swearing in an anime dub and the most cigarettes smoked in an anime. So
what an achievement!
What an achievement, exactly. And I think it's like the most bullets fired in an anime ever, or something like that as well. So yeah, it's very it's gun heavy. This was probably the first anime from the subgenre Girls with Guns, which is a bit of a cult genre. Pretty much exactly what it says on the tin. Girls with Guns. The main girl in this is Revi, who is a pirate, well, quote unquote, delivery woman, who is paid by whoever, usually people with mob connections. It has got quite a compelling gangster story at its heart, to smuggle goods around mainly like South Asia. I think the fictional setting of Roanapa, I think, is in Thailand or something. And yeah, it's an episodic show, sort of like JoJo Part 3, if you've seen that. It's sort of every episode there's a different plot, a different villain, a different problem to overcome. Which it's fine. You can watch anime with like a big overarching story, like Attack on Titan, where, the mystery is revealed as the show goes on. But this is a sort of, slow, well, it's not exactly slow paced, but you can watch an episode, like, if you go on IMDb and look at the top rated episodes, you could watch them in any order without missing a thing, really. And that's why I like it. It's fun. The action is actually really well done. It's very well animated for a 2007 anime, I have to say.
Nice.
So the series sort of charts Revi and her crew as they go around Asia, sort of getting into these crazy situations. It's a crazy anime. There's an assassin maid, like a murder maid. There's
Eminem.
The Eminem. There are two vampire sibling, gender fluid, lowly shota things that go around murdering people.
we can move on.
It's very weird. That whole episode is strange. But on the whole, very solid show. I would highly recommend it if you want something. It's a little bit more fun, but it's fun in how dark it is. Like, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It knows how, like, completely off the deep end it is. It's definitely worth tracking down. It's only 24 episodes, I believe. And then there's a side story, but, you know, it's not that good. Yeah, it's not many people actually know about this, which surprised me. But it's sort of like another anime that we will probably talk about at length in another episode, the Monogatari series, where it hasn't got many fans, but the fans you can find are, like us, are super passionate about it.
That's the statement.
Yeah. Yeah, Black Lagoon. Give it a watch. I don't think it's on Netflix. I don't think they'd allow it.
I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Track it down.
Any warnings for the viewers? Because I have heard that there is quite a bit of casual racism.
Yeah, there are a few racial slurs thrown around. They are quite few and far between. The only real warning I would give is the language. Yeah. So much swearing. So much swearing. But you know, if you're fine with that, then it's nothing like actively offensive. Like, even the racial slurs thrown around are not really done with much malice, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
They're not intended to be offended. They're not intended. It's not offensive. It's just sort of over the top, you know.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I would say not for people under the age of 15 or 16, but you know, it's nothing wildly obscene.
It's probably the amount of that we would say during a day-on-day basis, to be honest.
Yeah, something like that.
That.
Yeah, track it down somewhere. Mm-hmm. Legal websites, probably your best bet.
Yeah, very legal websites.
Legal websites.
Oh, they're legal.
Which we will not name, not for any legal reasons, but just because we don't want to.
Yeah, you can't tell us what to do. This is our show.
Yeah. And I don't really want to get too deep into spoiling any specific episodes, because, like I said, each episode sort of has its own individual plot. But yeah, so that's really all I can say about it. It's fun. It's over the top. It's sort of, you know, violent, but in a fun way. You know what I mean?
Sweet.
Yeah. So I think we can move on. That's all I really have to say about
it. My anime. It's a big one.
Yeah.
Most people have heard of it. It's the top-rated anime on my anime list. It's Fullmetal Alchemist.
That doesn't really mean anything.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I understand.
Yeah.
You've probably heard the fan base is a bunch of.
Let me just preface this by saying Dan is not a Fullmetal Alchemist fanboy. All right, he's not one of those guys who downvotes every single other anime that gets on top of Fullmetal Alchemist. Okay.
Yep.
Not one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Just to avoid any hate.
Yep, I just enjoyed the anime for what it was. Pretty much, it's an anime based off of the manga Fullmetal Alchemist. It had a previous adaptation in 2003, which was called Fullmetal Alchemist. But since the manga went on hold at some point, the anime had to continue it, basing itself off of nothing.
Bit of a berserk situation.
Yeah.
You know how well that turned out.
Yeah. So, overall, would go for the Brotherhood version, but if you want, like, the full Metal Alchemist experience, watch both. You know, just way as well. Brotherhood's 64 episodes, so it's a decent watch. It's pretty big, but it's nothing too big, I'd say. It's pretty much story is two brothers are sons of a big alchemist, and they are training to be alchemists too. And their mother dies after their father leaves them, and they want to bring her back. But then something happened. Things didn't go well. One of the brothers, Alphonse, lost his entire body, and Edward lost an arm. So Edward has to. It's pretty dark on the first episode.
Yeah, I've seen the first few episodes
Yeah,
myself, and it is, and I've seen scenes later on which I won't
yeah.
name, but I think
Oh,
we both know the scene.
yeah.
Extremely
Oh no,
dark.
it is.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So what Edward has to do is he has to sacrifice his leg or arm actually, because he lost his leg during the process of bringing back his mother. And they had to sacrifice his arm to trap his brother's soul into a suit of armor. So this story is them trying to regain their bodies through what they call a philosopher's stone. And pretty much the entire thing, they're searching for it. Obviously, some stuff happens in between. They get off track. It's kind of the set fetch quest.
Yeah.
Big twist at the end. I very like the twist because it really messes with their psyche and their entire mindset on what they're doing. I really enjoy it. Characters, amazing. Good waifu material as well.
Yes, I've seen. I think it's Envy. Is it Envy? Is Envy the male or?
It's Lust you're thinking of.
Yes.
We've got Lust, which is one of the. I'm not going to say what they are.
Yeah.
You'll find out. But one of the main villains, pretty much. That's all you need to know. And another one is major side character. Is Winry. And another one is of the military Hawkeye. Three very, very good ones.
We got the Hawkeye Winry debate.
Oh, we'll get onto that when we do a waifu episode.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
And we can't forget the husbandos though. But we're getting off topic.
Isn't one of them voiced by Chris Sabat, Vegeta's voice actor?
Possibly.
I think so. It's a husbando's dad, I believe. I think you told me he's one of the characters' dads. But yeah, I've seen clips of him. Great voice as always. Love Chris Sabat.
Oh no, it may be Louis Armstrong.
Yes, Armstrong. Yes, yeah.
Yes, so there's some really good voice acting in it. Animation's pristine. I think the animation's amazing. And what else is there to say about it? The story I really enjoyed, although I will say the pacing on some scenes comparative to the original when it was going based off of the manga could be improved on. Sometimes it goes things a bit too fast, but other than that, I think the pacing's pretty good. Didn't add or cut needless things.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than compressing 64 episodes into a hour and a half movie, which has been my only experience with Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
They don't
really?
even get that's episode 20 of when they finish.
Oh, I thought that was the entire story.
No,
Okay.
no, that's episode 20. You're only a third of the way.
Yeah, I
through.
should probably say.
They
Yeah,
missed so much.
my only experience with this show has been through the live action movie, which is deliciously terrible.
It pains so much after
Yeah.
watching both the original Fullmetal Alchemist and Brotherhood
Yeah.
to then watch that. It pains me. What else? What else is there? Ooh, openings. They got some bangers. They got some serious bangers. We've got opening 1, which is again by Yui, one of my favorite anime openings of all time.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people will agree with you. That is one of the most popular anime openings.
Definitely. And I believe opening 4 and opening 5 are great. I don't know the names because they're not as high on my list, but they're still great. Really good. Really
More
good.
than can be said for Black Lagoon, which has a Jinglish opening.
Oof.
Yeah, we all love Jinglish here on this podcast.
Very but no.
Yeah,
Anyway.
It's not great.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to get into an anime that has some good story, good twist, very, very metaphorical stuff, lots of psychology and philosophy in it, and it's and if you've got some spare time to watch it over the course of a week or two, and because I watched it on holiday over a 2-week holiday, it lasted me a week, so
Yeah,
you could get it done in 2 weeks. So if you have that time, I'd say watch it. It's a good watch, but I will say it isn't my favorite, and I don't think it deserves a spot. I don't think it deserves like the number one, obviously because of reasons from the fan base.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I hold a different anime on top,
Yeah.
and I think Mason knows exactly what it is.
I do, yeah, and I hold it very high myself. Not quite on the top, but I do hold it very high.
Exactly. But yeah, I'd say very good.
Yeah.
The characters are good, story is good, animation's good, openings are good, and just everything's it's just pretty good actually.
Yeah. What would
Yeah.
you rate it then if you wouldn't rate it like a straight 10 out of 10 like the fanboys do? Because I forgot to rate Black Lagoon as well, so I'll let you go
Why don't you
first.
say that now? No, why don't you say that now? I may as well.
Okay, well I'd probably say I'd give Black Lagoon a strong 7, like a high 7 I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's fun. It's nothing deep, it's nothing like, it won't make you think, it's just fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, I'd give it I can give it 7.5 to an 8, I'd say.
Yeah. I think, yeah, from what I've seen, the small bits and pieces I've seen, I'd probably agree with you.
Oh, and the ending. Oh, I just remember the ending. The ending's
Yeah.
fire. I love the ending. Anyway, yeah, just give it a watch. Give both of those a watch if you haven't. Just have some free time.
Yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist is on Netflix, so do
Watch
watch
it
it.
dubbed. I actually prefer it dubbed to sub, just like
Nice.
like Dragon Ball. It is actually
Just like like Dragon Ball, one of the few anime that do sound better.
Oh, up to personal opinion.
Yeah,
Oh,
of course. I know some people love Screechy Goku, but we won't get into that.
I am not a fan.
And neither am I. Yeah. Unless you have anything else to say, Dan.
No, I think we can move on to the manga.
Cool. All right. I'll go on the manga then. Got a little bit another bit of a cult classic here. That isn't really well known, but it's a much more recent one. This series only finished in August, I believe, of this year, of 2020.
Really?
It started in 2018. It's a short one. It's only 25 chapters, so 5 volumes. It's called Change the World. Very interesting plot, this one.
You may need to say it in detail. I haven't heard of this either.
Yeah, no, nobody really has, and to be perfectly honest with you, I cannot remember where I heard about this from, but I'm glad I did because I love it. So, I know me and you, Dan, have both seen the amazing, critically acclaimed, absolute brilliant anime film Your Name, which focuses around 2 people who unexpectedly one day switch bodies. And this manga, this is probably where I heard about it because I love that movie so much. This manga is probably, is a sort of a dark twist on that plot where it focuses on this sort of basement dweller, nerd, weeaboo, sort of antisocial, no-life guy in his mid-20s.
Why is he on the couch?
And it focuses on him, who he goes to an abandoned building one night because he's fed up with his useless life, and he goes to an abandoned building one night to end it all and hang himself. Because he's fed up. I should probably preface this. Yeah, it's very dark. It's a very dark series. It goes to very dark places.
That kind of threw me out of left field there.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's not light. If you'll watch this podcast for any length of time, you know that my tastes aren't really in the slice of life genre. So, and while he's here, he's about to do the deed, and he bumps into this other random guy, who is there. I won't spoil why this other guy is there because it is a pretty big plot point later on. But as they see each other, suddenly it all fades to black and whatever. But then the no life, our main character loser guy, wakes up one morning in this other guy's body, and vice versa. This other guy is in our main character's body. So our main character finds out that the man who he's currently in the body of is a high-ranking police detective, an elite detective who lives in this huge mansion, who's really rich, and he's super athletic, super handsome, basically everything that our main character isn't. And there is another thing that he is, that our main character isn't, and that is a serial killer.
Then.
Yeah. So very and the series sort of charts our main character's quest to get his body back, and the rabbit hole sort of goes very, very deep. So we go deeper into this police officer's killing spree, why he does it, his psyche, things like that. Very interesting. There's a lot of cool action sequences, a lot of great side characters. There's a guy who sort of, to make another JoJo reference, because, you know, a lot of people know about that anime. There's a guy who sort of reminds me of Okuyasu from Part 4 of JoJo's, except he's a Yakuza hitman. But yeah, he's got the same mannerisms and stupidity and stuff like that, and I love him. Sweet. And there is the stereotypical loli. There is, cool side characters. There's a lot of references. I know last episode we touched on references with your manga, Please Don't Bully Me Nagatoro, which contained references to a bunch of other manga and anime. This is sort of the same. There's a bunch of fun references. It's surprisingly funny. There are a lot of good jokes that are cracked, despite its really, really dark subject matter. But the main selling point, for me at least, is that it's short and sweet. Because with this concept, I feel like if it was done over any longer than 25 chapters, it would have sort of gotten a little bit boring. But this series keeps it short. It keeps it relevant. There's no like massive filler side stories or whatever. It's just a straight plot. Very interesting. It's on Viz Media, where you can legally get manga. It's also on a bunch of other sites where you can also legally get manga. Yeah, give it a watch, a read rather, if you like seinen, because I certainly do. Yeah, that's all I really have to say without spoilers, because again, it's unlike Black Lagoon, it's a very plot-heavy series, so I can't really say anything more about the plot without it getting spoilery. And trust me, you'll want to discover it yourself, because it's very twisty and it's very fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, Change the World, solid 8 to 9, I would say, out of 10. I love it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. Right. Well, to lighten the mood, I have picked out another slice of life high school manga. I know. Hold your booing. It's a good one as well. I have picked up, which I actually have in physical, because it's that good.
What a weirdo.
It is called Komi Can't Communicate. It is about a socially anxious high school student named Shoko Komi. And her greatest dream is to make friends. But everyone at school, big, yeah. Everyone at school mistakes her crippling social anxiety for super cool and edgy reserve.
Oh my god, really?
And so that's why everybody thinks she's so hot, pretty, guys want to be with her, girls want to be her, but she just doesn't want any of it because she's too scared.
Aww.
And she only opens up with Tadano, which is he has no talent. He's pretty much average.
Nice. As
opposed to every single character in this school who excels in one thing or another. But the thing is, he's fine with being average. He's fine with being completely normal. But then everything changes when he meets Komi. And he quickly realizes that she isn't she isn't calm. She's just super awkward. And so then, after they have a really adorable, wholesome chat to each other over a chalkboard conversation, because she's too scared to even talk.
Aww.
He makes it his sole mission to help her on her quest to make 100 friends. It is
Wow.
adorable.
That sounds like an amazing setup. I'm just gonna say I pretty much know nothing about this series. I've heard you talk about it to me before, but that's all I've really known about it. And yeah, and I think that's a perfect idea for a plot because you always see, especially in like high school anime, you always see this one character, you know, that cool edgy guy, you know, that guy that all the girls want to be with, and that's a brilliant flip on the
Yep.
yeah.
I can. All the characters are so personalized. They have so much like character in them. They're unique. Each of them has their own specific personality, and even Komi, who says nothing, she's so emotive with how they draw her. Like, there's parts where she like looks like she could be in a JoJo panel with her looking down with all cell shaded. But then the next one, her eyes are wide and cartoonish with her head more rounded.
Yeah.
It's amazing how they draw it.
Changing art styles is always amazing in manga.
It's so good. And speaking of references, they make it in this. I literally just flipped in to volume 4, and the first page I see randomly in the middle is a Super Mario reference. So, it's pretty in touch, and I'm pretty sure it's ongoing as well.
I believe so, yeah.
And just like Please Don't Bully Me in Nagatoro, I just love it. Just Komi herself, she's adorable, and she's just amazing. The manga's amazing, characters are good, plot is hilarious, and the constant character development with everything, it's just hilarious. It's a really good read, and yeah, it's like everything's put into perspective because it does social anxiety pretty well. As much as it plays it for laughs, because you know it's a comedy.
Yeah,
it does it really well on how it actually shows how difficult it is for some people to commute on a daily basis.
Yeah,
she doesn't speak a word to anyone. Like, she never talks. As seen, I'll just say this, when she's asked to introduce herself, all the students are asked to introduce themselves. She walks up, is about to spit, is like, pans up to her mouth. Then it zooms out to her being like shaking. And then she walks over to the chalkboard and writes her name, then walks back. And everybody's like really cheering her on, where I was like, oh my god, that's so cool and edgy. But then it pans to her like shaking.
Oh my
It's
god.
it's genuinely so wholesome.
Yeah.
And I love it. And the thing is, she's happy with what they think of her because she wants to keep up the facade. She doesn't want to for people to think she's awkward. And I just love this manga. It's so amazing. But yeah, I'd highly recommend giving it a read on just like those other very legal websites that Mason was talking about.
Of course, yeah. All legal.
And yeah, it's pretty the volumes are pretty I won't say pretty big, but they got some heft to them. So, you know, if you are to buy them, then I'd say you're definitely getting your money's worth.
Not like not exactly Death Note heft though. I'm looking over at my Death Note collection. All of them are like 400 pages long.
Oh yikes! This one I believe is 185.
That is still pretty hefty for an anime volume, a manga volume rather.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You get your money's worth, and I think it's
Totally.
£7 in Waterstone, which is where I got mine.
Totally, yeah.
So I'd say definitely.
I will always say that about manga. You know, if you like it enough, pick up a physical copy. I would definitely pick up a physical copy of Change the World, but they haven't come out in the UK yet, so I have to read them online.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd so recommend this. Like, just like a fun little read to watch. Just to have fun.
Yeah.
Just have a laugh.
That's all you need from some series, really. Just have a laugh. Yeah.
And and I think that's all I have to say. Just that the art is amazing, characters are good, and the plot is basic, yet it does it really well. Because you can see the development that each character gets, and it's super cool. Because obviously, because they all excel, each student excels in their own thing. They're always gonna have one specific trait in their
Yeah.
personality, which is very strong.
I'm
which,
getting I'm getting Kill La Kill flashbacks where everyone is the member of like a really
Yes.
weird sort of selective
Yes.
club.
Exactly. That is exactly
Yeah.
what it is. Exactly. Literally, the first page is like a double page spread of all the characters, and it's like, Naruse is a narcissist. Najimi Osana is sociable. Yame is aggressive. Tadano is ordinary. You know,
Yeah.
Naka is immature. Everybody has this distinct thing.
Yeah.
It's, God, it's, yeah. Totally give it a read. It's amazing. And also, what was yours called again? Sorry.
Change the world. See,
Change
it's
the
that
world.
niche. It's that niche. He's forgotten the name after like 10 minutes.
I was too invested. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I get how you feel, and it does look good. It does look good, and I will probably pick it up when I've finished with Change the World, which I have like 3 chapters left to get through.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Shall I move on to the comics then?
Yeah, let's move on to the Western comics.
Shall I start with year 1 then?
Yeah, go for it.
Right. So, year 1, it, for someone who doesn't like superheroes,
Yeah.
you
really don't.
I do not care for Marvel, DC, anything.
Yeah.
I just don't care. If the movie's good or if the comic's good, then I'll say it's good. But it's not because of the superhero.
Yeah.
However, I will say, Batman Year 1, pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Is that because it's not a superhero story?
Probably yeah. Probably yeah. But I mean, Batman isn't even a superhero. But let's not get into that.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah, his power is money. We all know this.
Power is money. Money is power. But yeah, pretty much it based itself off of the first year in which Batman comes back from his training.
Yep, after his his worldwide training tour
with like martial arts and ninja shit.
Yeah,
and also shows a perspective of Commissioner Gordon coming over into Gotham from being, I think, relocated for his job or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they have to move. And so it's pretty much just them both seeing those two perspectives, and I actually really like it. Both of them actually.
Yeah. I think
they collide at the end.
It's got a great dynamic between. It sort of sets up the classic Batman Gordon dynamic that's in most of the comics. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But the ending is very good. I really like the ending, and it's very wholesome. So.
Very
good. But yeah, it's just the it's so weird looking at comic art. It's like I barely do. But it's like it's so stylized. I actually really dig it.
Yeah, and I think comic art. I know with manga you can have different artists and art styles and everything's different, but there is sort of
what?
Yeah, Jojo. There is sort of like a kind of uniformity to manga, but with Western comics, it's sort of it all depends on the tone, what you want for the tone.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like compare like the OG comics to the one that you're going to talk about.
Indeed, yeah. So I think year 1 was 1988, which is the same year as the comic I'm going to be talking about in a sec.
Sweet.
Because they were released to like complement each other.
Cool. But yeah, I would if you're a fan of the more detective-y side and like more mafia kind of stories.
Yeah, it's a mafia story at its core, really. Year 1. Yeah.
If you'd like that, as I do, because I love mafia, I need to finish Peaky Blinders.
Oh. Yes. Yeah.
I know it's not really mafia, but you know what I mean. But if you like that, and if you like Batman, if you like superheroes, give it a read.
Yeah.
Obviously on some legal websites.
Of course. Or you could just pick up the trade paperback. I think it's only like £8 or something. Considering what you get, because it is a big saga. It's like 100 pages or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually really enjoyed it. For once, I actually enjoyed a superhero thing.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I enjoyed some of the superhero movies, but that's just because the movies aren't. I just like the movies because, like, visually and shit like that.
I feel like the only good Batman movies are the Christopher the Dark Knight trilogy. Because they're not really superhero movies.
I actually haven't watched the Dark Knight ones yet. I've seen all the like OG Batman movies, like Batman Begins.
Yeah, that's the Dark Knight trilogy.
Oh, is it?
There's Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and then The Dark Knight Rises.
Wait, which one has I seen that isn't in there? The one, the really weird one. Oh.
Batman versus Superman, maybe?
No. It was before that time.
Oh, before that, the Adam West one.
Did it have maybe Penguin and Catgirl? Batman Forever.
Batman Forever is with the Riddler and Two-Face, but
yes, I've seen that one too, though. That one too, though.
Yes, I think it's Batman Returns. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's Batman Returns. Danny DeVito is the Penguin. What a great casting choice! What an amazing casting choice!
Oh, God. Yep. I still can't believe he directed Matilda.
I know, that blew my mind when you told me that. Danny DeVito directed Matilda.
Yeah, and he plays in it.
Yeah, I knew he was in it, obviously. I didn't know he directed it.
God, it's
so
hilarious.
weird.
But yeah, I'd say give it a read. It didn't take me that long to read, but
yeah,
I enjoyed it I went in there kind of like expecting me to not like it, actually.
Yeah,
just to, like,
I know how you
get my
feel.
hopes up. But yeah, I say definitely give it a read if you like superhero stuff.
Yeah,
or
and if you're a Batman fan, you probably already know what I'm about to say. But if you're a Batman fan, you should probably check it out because it is now considered to be like the origin story for Batman. It's the one that most people talk about when they talk about Batman's origin, which is cool. Which just shows how pivotal it was in Batman's mythology.
Now, let's move on to yours.
Yes, mine is sort of the same, but different. So year one deals with with Batman's origin and how he becomes to be Batman. My comic is the Batman: The Killing Joke, which is the origin story. I say in quotation marks, because to this day we still don't really know what his true origin is. The origin story of the Joker, who is obviously Batman's arch enemy. Now, Killing Joke came out in the same year as Year One, as I've already said. They were released around the same time, and it was sort of this great sort of synergy between Frank Miller, who writes Year One. Frank Miller has gone on to write loads of cool Batman stories, including my personal favourite Batman story, The Dark Knight Returns. And The Killing Joke was written by Alan Moore, who wrote the Watchmen comic.
Wow!
Another top tier comic. Absolutely love Watchmen. I don't care what you say, it doesn't count as a DC comic. I don't care what they're doing in recent years, like bringing Watchmen into the DC universe and whatever. It's not a DC comic. It's on its own. Alan Moore is a great writer. He also wrote V for Vendetta, if you've heard of that.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Very
good comic. Pretty good movie, surprisingly. Yeah. So anyway, The Killing Joke. Batman's in it, of course, but it's not really about him. It is more about the Joker. It focuses on the Joker and his sort of reminiscence as he pulls off his, probably most people would say, still his most painful and like hurtful crime to Batman yet, which I'm not counting it as a spoiler because the comic's nearly 40 years old and most people already know. He cripples Barbara Gordon, shoots her through the spine. It's a gut punch to anyone who likes the Batman character. It's so sudden as well. Alan Moore
just cripples his wife.
No, you're thinking of recent Batman. Barbara Gordon is like 20 years younger than him. She's like Robin. She's like a Robin. She's like his daughter. Not his wife.
Wait.
Catwoman is his wife currently.
No, I know that. I'm thinking of Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, no, Barbara is Commissioner Gordon's daughter.
Daughter.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got this stuff.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, no, a lot of people make the
That's
mistake.
even worse. Oh my
Yeah, I
god.
know. And
Water. Oh.
yeah, and there's this great companionship between Alan Moore, the writer, and Brian Bollard, who draws it. And the panels are so well intermingled, and it's sort of like if you've read Junji Ito manga, it's sort of like a page turn jump scare where Barbara goes to the door and she opens it, and on the next page the Joker is standing there with the gun, and like it's a full page panel, and oh my, it's chilling, like. And Commissioner Gordon also plays a part in this as well, where the point of the book is the Joker is trying to teach Batman that one bad day could turn anyone as mad as he is. So like he kidnaps, he forces, he shoots Barbara Gordon, then he kidnaps Commissioner Gordon, tortures him, mentally and physically, in like. I'm not going to get into it. One, because spoilers, and two, because I just don't want to say stuff. And it doesn't work, because the Joker sort of sees his connection with Batman. He thinks we're both crazy. We're both, and it both took us one bad day, which of course it did with Batman, with his parents, and everyone knows the story. The Joker as well had one bad day, as it is revealed in this comic. With the death of his wife. Very, very sort of... Again, it's an emotional comic. It gets me every time I read it, and I've read it a lot of times. It makes you sympathise with the Joker, which I didn't think was possible, considering, especially in recent comics, they paint him as an absolute monster. But it makes you sympathise with him. And I love the comic. If you're looking for a bit of Joker literature, pick it up. Probably this comic and Arkham Asylum, Serious House on a Serious Earth are the best Joker stories. Also Three Jokers, which I will talk about when it becomes a little bit more relevant. It's only just finished now. Three Jokers is sort of a sequel to The Killing Joke. I really, really want to talk about this more, but I won't. Killing Joke, I want so bad to give it a 10 out of 10, but... Considering we don't give 10 out of 10s here, I will give it a 9 out of 10.
You can if you want. I just personally don't give 10 out of 10.
No, I don't want to say it's 10 out of 10 and then, something comes along better if we talk about it. I don't know. Yes, Killing Joke, solid 9. 9.5. Let's say 9.5. Yeah. Love the comic. Love it to bits. Read Year 1 and The Killing Joke back to back. Read Year 1 first, then The Killing Joke. Because sort of the final... page, the final dialogue in Year 1 sort of leads directly to The Killing Joke. Definitely pick them up both if you can. Pick up one if you can't. They're both great. They're both equally good. I don't really have a preference between them. It's just that I like the Joker as a character more than Batman, and it was probably this comic that did it for me. Yeah, Killing Joke, absolutely brilliant work of fiction. Love it so much. So, with that, we can get on to what I personally am most excited for this week, the video games. Now, Dan is going to talk about a game which I saw in the PlayStation 5 State of Play. I think it was all the way back in September or August.
I think so, yeah.
I didn't like the look of it, but I'm not the one reviewing it. So, take it away, Dan.
Now, the game is The Pathless.
Mm-hmm.
And might I say, it is a good-ass game. I loved it. I started playing it on Monday, I believe. No, actually, it was Wednesday, I think. And I genuinely, for once, find myself continuously playing it in my own free time.
Brilliant.
Because of how fun it is. So pretty much The Pathless is an action-adventure game, played with a third-person perspective. And in this game, you control the hunter, who has to find a way to lift a curse on an island that she washes up on from a boat. And she's a master archer, and must use her bow and arrows to shoot these diamond talismans? Yes, talismans, which are scattered throughout the world.
this sounds a little bit familiar to another game.
No, it doesn't.
No, I think I've eaten my words with the Pathless, because when it came out, I was constantly moaning, to Dan especially, this is a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild ripoff.
Yes, it's not. So yeah, so you shoot these talismans across the world, like, it's scattered everywhere, and what they do once you shoot them is that they filter the hunter's dash meter and allow her to swiftly navigate the game's world. Literally, once you hold RT, or whichever trigger it is, whatever you call it on your controller, it locks on to the nearest talisman, and if you you have to wait a second until it fully goes round the talisman in like a sort of like loading thing. Once it reaches the full like outline of the shape, you let go, and it will track that talisman. And once it does that, you gain a boost if you're already running, a jump boost in the air if you're jumping while you hit it, and it just fills up a bar at the bottom, which can be increased with each boss you fight. With each boss you kill, it increases it, like the amount you can run with. Right. Like the way the maneuverability, like once you get your super adorable eagle friend, you can fly across the entire map, because like you get this ability where you can glide, and they knew you would do this because they put talismans in like the sky, so you can shoot them while you're in the sky, or if you're hovering like below the ground and you can shoot them near the ground, you can shoot them, and you pretty much get a continuous like steady altitude, because you're constantly getting boosts up in the air once you drop down to shoot them. So like it's like, and if you're already gliding and you hold RT to shoot an arrow, once you finish shooting that, you go back into gliding and don't have to click another button, so you'll already be gliding again. Like you can either run or you can fly. And the maneuverability is amazing. It's the main thing that draws me, really. It's so good. I love how like fast you can run, how everything like it feels like a Sonic game should.
Yeah, and I know the more recent Sonic games, with the exception of Sonic Mania, because it's a remaster.
I can't wait to talk about a bad video game or movie.
We
will soon.
Why don't we just we'll do 2 terrible video games next week. Rest assured.
We'll do that.
We'll pick them out carefully. Because because there aren't that many video games coming out next week anyway, and I really don't want to review Football Manager 2K21. So we'll be talking about terrible video games.
Or you could always leave us a comment and tell us what bad video game you'd like for us to do.
Please do it. We would love that.
We'll find you if you don't.
We'll track you down if you don't tell me the worst video game you've ever played in the comments. Okay?
Exactly.
Good. Glad we understand each other. So
pretty much, big evil bad guy, big villain, super edgy looking, pretty cool, has corrupted the souls of this island, which are the children of this big eagle bird spirit. You have to cleanse them by doing these super cool boss fights where you run alongside them while they're running away and shoot them in their eyes across the bodies. And then it goes into like this arena boss fight. Once it moves it around, you have to dodge it around and shoot their weaknesses again. It's so cool. Everything's cinematic. And the soundtrack, it can go from like peaceful acoustic guitar while running around in this like huge open world vista. Then this huge this epic score where you're fighting and running alongside this like horrifying looking like voidish beast with like a single eye in its face, with huge antlers that can like have fire everywhere. It is so good. And I haven't even talked about the visuals.
Oh, I know. Yeah, the art style, I will say, looks absolutely brilliant.
And every time you die, or every time your bird takes damage, you heal it by petting it, which
Aww.
you do by the press of the X button or square button to then get your eagle on your arm, and then you'll use the right stick to move your arm over its body to
Wow. Okay.
wipe away any markings on it that have been left behind by the scorchings.
I would just be slapping it.
Exactly. No, you can't. It's always on the bird, the
Yeah.
hand, and so you maneuver it around. And once it does, it shows it's thankful and like cuddles up next to you and like gives you a hug. And
Wow.
it's so fucking cute. I love it. And
So,
it's a really good game.
Yeah.
I give it a solid 8 out of 10.
brilliant. So,
Oh, good.
I know the main selling point for this game, which is a PS5 launch title, by the way. It's also a PS5 and PC. Was the open world. So, like, how big are we talking here? I know you've said it has some verticality with talismans in the sky that you can get to. Like, how big are we talking?
So I'm currently on the second boss, and so what I've gathered, each boss has its own open world area.
Oh, really?
Yes. And each within them has its own collectibles to gain. And so I went to the initial first area with the first boss, which was super cool, pretty big, but not that big because then it's first boss. Want to keep it easy-ish.
Yeah.
But it's like there's this constant looming threat inside this area because the boss walks around the area inside a huge dome of like red mist, and if you get into that mist, it takes you into a stealth mini game where if it spots you with its eyes and within its vision, you die.
Sort of like the Scarecrow level from Batman Arkham Asylum.
I'm not sure, but I'll explain in a bit more detail and you'll be able to see it. So you go into this thing, your bird gets tossed away in this wind, this scorching wind, it gets really badly injured. And then the boss appears. And it has its one main eye. Or at least the first boss does. And you can see where its vision is. It's indicated by its big orange light that it protrudes onto the floor. And if you can be spotted inside it, but you can't move when inside it. If you move inside it, if it spots you, it will teleport behind you and flame you up into the air and shoot you out from the sphere.
Whoa.
Killing you.
And Mario 64 deaths.
And then you have to pet your bird to heal you back up again. And I love that. It takes you, if you like accidentally go into this dome, it takes you into a completely different kind of game. And I love that. And the funny thing is, it's constantly looming because it's moving around the goddamn map. It slowly moves. And as I was trying to get this tower, which you have to get to be able to fight the boss, I heard it and saw my screen go a bit more red. Turned around and the dome was coming towards me. I jumped off the tower and had to fly away quickly in order to get away from it. Luckily, I outran it and the dome despawned into someplace else because I was too far away from it. But I was like, oh my god, I'm so close from getting into this thing and I don't want to do another mini boss. Please. I love it though because I'd say it's a genuinely great game. The open world is really good.
Yeah.
Because, it's not this one big one. It's many medium-sized ones.
Multiple little ones, yes.
Each different boss.
I'm not gonna lie, I do sort of prefer that idea. It's the same. I know we were talking. Some of us were talking about this recently with instead of Borderlands. Borderlands 2 has this massive big open world, which is great and all. But Borderlands 3 sort of upstages that by having multiple different sort of sections of the map that are independent of each other.
Yeah.
And I do personally prefer that. So you're saying the Pathless has a bunch of open worlds rather than one gigantic interconnected one?
Well, I'd say yes, but you can travel in between them. So they are technically connected.
Like different ecosystems.
Yes. Actually, yes, because they have different animals in them.
Yeah. Nice.
Yes. I would say, genuinely would say, 8 out of 10. Nothing like Breath of the Wild. Genuinely really good. And I would highly recommend this on both PC and PS5 if good luck getting one.
Oh my god, I have something. Yeah, we when we get to the news section, we'll talk about PS5 orders. But
that can lead us on to the game you're doing.
Yeah, so my game is a little bit like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It is in fact a prequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. Now, this game has only been out at the time of recording. Has only been out for a day. Officially, it's been a bad week, or a good week, depending on how you look at it, for data leaks, and we'll talk more about that in the news section because there have been a few quite large ones this week. Hyrule Warriors was one of them. The entire source code was leaked online. I certainly didn't take the advantage of it and play the game early.
I certainly didn't help you with that.
Yeah, and I'm certainly not thankful to you.
Of course not, because there is nothing to be thankful for.
Exactly. So Hyrule Warriors. Hyrule Warriors is essentially, it's a Switch exclusive, but you wouldn't know it. I think this is the best running Switch game I've ever played. And I know I said a bit to you before about how it doesn't really run that well, but I was playing it in handheld mode, which is what I've always played Breath of the Wild in, because I rarely play with my Switch docked. I played this docked. Wow, I've never seen a Switch game run at 60 FPS before.
It can run at 60 FPS.
Yeah, it sort of blew my mind that it actually could. And once I sort of got over that, yes, the game is wonderful. It takes a while to get into, I think, mainly because I'm not a natural fan of like beat 'em up horde boss games, which this is. I'm not the most inclined on that, but this is probably the best one I've played. But don't get angry at me because I haven't played that many. But this is definitely the best one I personally have played. So you take control of Link, the main hero of Legend of Zelda. Zelda, Impa, who is Zelda's sort of best friend. She's the royal protector. You also play as the 4 champions of Hyrule, who each of the 4 is from a different section of Hyrule, which is the game's world, in case you are, like me, not terribly familiar with the Zelda lore. You have Daruk, who is this big bruiser guy, this big orange guy.
Is it Goron?
Yeah, he's a Goron. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. He's a Goron. He has a massive sword, big bruiser. You have Urbosa, who is part of a tribe which is taken heavy influence from the Amazon tribe. It's an all-women tribe of warriors. She's very quick. She has lightning powers. Very quick, sort of around the map. She's a good flanker. Revali, who is a bird person who looks exactly like Falco from Star Fox.
Just imagine Falco with Sonic's personality.
Pretty much. I'd say more like Shadow. He's a bit of an edgelord in this game. And
he's really so cocky, though.
Yeah. And he obviously, because he's a birdman, his thing is that he flies and he has a bow and arrow. He can take enemies out from the air. He's very broken because he can't be hit when he's in the air, and he can stay in the air indefinitely. Sort of a pet shop problem for like the 10 people on Earth who play JoJo's Heritage to the Future.
Oof, those 10 people understand.
Yeah, good game. Not enough people play it.
Exactly.
And then the final champion is Mifa, who is my personal main, a fish person, Zora they're called. She's a very fast character. She's sort of she's another flanker. She can put down water fountains around the arena, which she can then teleport and jump out of and start aerial combos. So she's a heavy combo character. Yeah, my main is currently between Impa and Mifa. Impa is a ninja, and she can absorb enemies, and she turns the enemies into clones of herself. And the more clones you have, the more damage you do.
Sweet.
Very cool playstyle. But on the actual game itself, there is a lot more than I thought there was going to be in this game. There is a lot to do.
Yeah, that was for me. This game, the thing that intrigued me with this game was what I was hoping for, because I didn't have high expectations with the game itself, like gameplay.
Neither did I.
Hyrule isn't the best. Didn't get the best ratings.
I'm one of the few people who enjoys the 2014 Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U. Which this game sort of builds on the mechanics from, but it's a completely separate game because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know, but I think Breath of the Wild is its own Zelda story, like in its own universe.
But I'm pretty sure most, like,
But
if it has a different Link, then it has a different story.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild Link is his own Link. This is it's nothing to do story wise, but it does sort of build on the mechanics from the 2014 game.
So I was thinking was that the thing that would intrigue me the most is the story and how it builds on Breath of the Wild. Because I really like Breath of the Wild story.
Yes. So it's called Age of Calamity. It's set in the Age of Calamity, which Breath of the Wild was sort of focused on the aftermath and sort of saving Hyrule from... You go around a Hyrule where Ganon, who is the main villain, has already won, and it's overrun with monsters and things like that. But in this game, you are fighting against Ganon. You want to stop Ganon before he initiates the Great Calamity and enslaves Hyrule. The story is good. It is sort of like a team building story. So you go around. You start with you start with only Link, Zelda, and Impa, and you have to go around. You go around the different regions of Hyrule and collect the champions and like ask the champions to help you. Very cool. You get to go around locations where you explored in Breath of the Wild, which is a 2015 game for the Wii U, then was remastered for the Switch. Get it on the Switch. The Wii U version isn't that good. And you sort of you get to go around, and it looks good. I like to see these locations in the new sort of. The art style is sort of the same. I'm not really one to comment on games' art styles. I'm not really that well versed in art in general. So the art style is sort of the same, but you can tell more time has been put into it, and you can tell that it's not a 2015 game. So very cool redesigning of locations you've already seen. There are some new locations, like I don't know. I never actually. Well, no, I did get to Calamity Ganon in Breath of the Wild, but only once. I never replayed it on Master Mode like most Zelda players do. So the interior of Hyrule Castle, when it's not infested by the Great Calamity, it was quite cool for me to see when you go around it in Age of Calamity. And yeah, so much to do. Arguably more than Breath of the Wild, I would say. Because in Breath of the Wild, yes, you have the shrines, but to me, the shrines sort of seem to get repetitive after a while. Age of Calamity isn't like that. So when you do the levels, when you do each individual level of the story, I'm about halfway through the story because I've only played it for a day. I've only got about 5 hours on it. I'm only halfway through the story. Once you play the different chapters of the story, you unlock training missions, which are, basically combo challenges where you can learn new moves for the characters. Very cool. You have stables, you have merchants, you have blacksmiths, you have travelers, cooking challenges. It's just it feels like a Zelda game. So yeah, it feels super populated, this world, which, yeah, not unlike Breath of the Wild, because the world was very dense in that game also, but I just feel like there's more here. I feel like there is more to do, and it is sort of setting up what you see in Breath of the Wild. So like, you repair a stable in Age of Calamity, then you can go to that stable and rest in Breath of the Wild, and so forth, so on and so forth. It's
nice.
It's a brilliant prequel. It's a great prequel. I don't know about the ending of the story. I know that that before the release there was hinted at multiple endings. I can't confirm or deny that because I haven't reached the end and I haven't looked at spoilers. But definitely play this. I know Nintendo games, like especially Nintendo original games like this one, don't go down in price. So buy it, I guess. You won't gain anything by waiting for the price to go down because it won't.
Unless you get it secondhand.
Yeah, yeah. If you haven't played Breath of the Wild, also get that.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Without a doubt, probably top 5 Switch games out there right now. Definitely top 3 Nintendo games out there right now.
Definitely, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. Mechanically wise, like gameplay wise, it's solid. It's sort of your standard open world beat 'em up horde brawler, where every character has something different to do. You can have up to 3 characters on a team. Each character levels up at different points, gets different weapons. Same like kind of like Breath of the Wild, where you can select different weapons, and they all do different things. All of the enemies from Breath of the Wild are back. Some great ones, but like you feel the impact because Link hasn't got his Sheikah Slate in this game. Zelda has it because she has no other offensive powers.
she did have it because
Yeah, exactly. So Link is not as powerful as he is in Breath of the Wild in this game, and I like that because it gives you more incentive to play the other characters. Because if Link was as he is in Breath of the Wild, where he is the only playable character, I feel like there wouldn't really be any cause for me to play the other characters.
True. Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, they can all use the different powers of the Sheikah Slate. They can all use like the runes from Breath of the Wild, so every character has bombs, cryonesis, stasis, and oh my god, and the one that I can't remember.
The one that.
That's annoying. I'll think of it at some point.
You'll think of it in bed.
Yeah, I'll think of it tonight. I'll be lying in bed and I'll be like, oh my god, that was it. But anyway, they have all 4 runes. And yeah, you can feel the impact when you're fighting big enemies like moblins. And obviously when you get to high level in Breath of the Wild, moblins are pretty much nothing. But in this game, because all the characters are weaker than they are in Breath of the Wild, you can feel the impact and every hit. And, they're like mini boss fights when you fight a moblin. And I really like that, considering by the time I'd finished my Breath of the Wild playthrough, I had weapons that could kill moblins in like 3 hits. But in this game, every moblin is like a boss fight. And we're not even getting on to the Linnells, because...
Oh, not Lionels. Oh god.
If Lionels were bad in Breath of the Wild, and I think everyone who plays Breath of the Wild can agree that Lionels are by far the worst thing. They're pretty much impossible.
They're great.
I love them. Their really cool design, but they're so difficult, so hard.
There'll be one guy in the comments that's just like, "Well, I beat him on my first try." So.
Oh my god, no! I bet you didn't, bro. Because I've had final level boss fights in Age of Calamity that are easier than like the Lionels that just come at you as normal enemies.
Like the one where you have to get lightning arrows.
Oh, that from Breath of the Wild? I didn't fight the Lionel. I had to sneak it. I had to just sneak past him. I've tried to fight him a few times, kill me in like 1 hit. Couldn't do it.
Yep.
So yeah, very cool. You will definitely find a character you like, because they're all different enough. If you like big ranged attacks, then it's probably going to be Impa or Urbosa for you. Urbosa like shoots lightning down, and Impa can throw kunais and knives and shurikens and things like that.
Does it have a chain though?
There's no kunai with chain. Zelda, surprisingly brutal with her Sheikah Slate. Like,
it like crushes it into someone's head.
I'm not lying. You can. There's a move, a part of her combo where she like raises up ice blocks, and then she like uses the ice blocks as stairs, and she can step on enemies that have been crushed by the ice blocks, and then she could detonate the ice blocks and like explode. It's so cinematic. It's like a Mortal Kombat fatality. But obviously, because it's a Nintendo game,
we can't have any kind of
no blood, no nothing. The enemies dissolve as soon as you kill them. Nothing.
Yeah.
And you know, she'd like her version of the remote bomb. Because each character has a slightly different version of the runes. Her version of the remote bomb is like a massive bomb that you can control, and it's like has legs and it can walk around, and then you can like position it into a place where it will get it will do the most damage. Not very practical considering it's a very in your face, like there's no opportunity for stealth or setting up attacks or anything. It's very in your face, a reactionary game, but it's a cool concept.
Yeah.
Like proximity, it's basically a proximity mine. And yeah, I've heard a lot of people say Zelda is their favorite character to play as. I personally don't like playing as her because her combos can be dropped easily. Because she uses the Sheikah Slate to like throw runes out as her attacks, but each rune is randomized, so you can't really set up combos with her.
Okay.
But she does higher than average damage. She does more damage than Link and Impa. So you know, if you wanted to just slash through people, I guess Zelda's fine. Very brutal. Many of her moves very brutal.
Final rating?
Yeah, Age of Calamity, gotta give it an 8. Yeah, gotta give it an 8. If you like brawlers, you'll probably give it a 10 because it's a great brawler. I personally, I'm not a fan of brawlers, but even then, I give it an 8. Great game.
Yes. And on the contrary opposite of god awful.
Oh yes, we've had 2 amazing games. Now we're on to film. The film section, guys. I can't even say the name.
So, we watched Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Mortal Kombat! Oh god. This film is bad.
It's a bad kind of bad.
I think there are not many films where I, like, you know when we say, oh, that's cringe, you know, that's so cringe. Not many things I've seen actually physically make me cringe.
It hurt me to watch.
Yeah.
Like, the Mortal Kombat 11 campaign is like 5 times better than this.
And that's a fighting game story. Like, come on, they're notoriously terrible, and it's like 10 times better than this film.
And that's not even talking about Aftermath.
Exactly, Aftermath is actually really cool as well.
Yeah. Oh god. So
we're watching this film to celebrate Mortal Kombat 11's next gen release, which was this week. New updated textures, more characters, stuff like that. Neither of us have a next gen console, so we're doing the next best thing.
Best.
So,
do you want me to give them a rundown? I don't care about spoilers. It's an awful movie.
Yeah, no, just don't watch it. We've dodged the bullet for you on this one. This is actually a sequel.
We haven't dodged the bullet. We took it.
Yeah. You've dodged the bullet. You've dodged the bullet, guys. We've taken it. Like, I would rather take a bullet than watch this again.
After the first movie, everything's happy. They defeat Shang Tsung, which is, I actually really like Shang Tsung. Anyway,
yeah, no, the first movie is like, it's not great, but it's watchable. I'd give it a 5 out of 10. It's watchable.
And so because of that, the realms are safe for the next generation until the next one. After that, randomly, Shao Kahn shows up, and he's like, I'm gonna link all of the realms so that I can rule all of them.
No motive here. That's all his motive. I want to rule all realms.
And the problem is everybody's human.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, didn't you say that you didn't know it was Shao Kahn because most of the movie is him being
the first time, I see him when he shows up at the very beginning with his classic costume on with the skull mask and stuff. But for the rest of the movie, like, there are scenes where Shao Kahn is talking to like his underlings and stuff, and I'm like, who is this guy? Who is he? I genuinely had no idea who he was because he spends the majority of the movie with no like armor or costume on. He's just a guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not really very familiar with Mortal Kombat lore, like from the early games. I've only played the more recent ones, but I don't know whether Shao Kahn is like a guy or not.
No, he's not. He's not human.
Yeah, so he's just a guy. Why? What? And furthermore, he's the most unrecognizable guy ever. No offense to the actor. I'm not insulting the actor, but he just looks like the most bland man ever.
Yeah.
The most immemorable guy.
So what happens is he shows up with a bunch of his random underlings, which is Shiva, which looks okay, serviceable. I thought she'd look a lot worse.
Yeah, no, yes, that's probably the best you could do. Which I'm not gonna lie.
This centaur, can't remember his name.
No,
I don't even think they say his name in the movie.
Yeah, he's an original character. I don't think he's from the games.
No, I wouldn't think they would. This isn't Killer Instinct. They don't have creativity.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Who else is there? I think Ermac is also there.
Ermac is there. The female Goro, the four-armed girl.
That's Shiva.
Oh, is it? I thought.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was thinking of Sindel.
No, and then the final one is Sindel.
Yeah.
Sindel. Oh no, I like Sindel. Sindel is just.
Yeah, that's who I was talking about. That's the best way you could do Sindel. Yeah.
Yeah, but so then they all pop up, and also some loads of people, like loads of these like ninjas that try and fight.
These generic ninjas,
These generic ninjas that fight Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, like young versions.
Yeah.
Kitana and Liu Kang. And also Raiden, which, because of his long hair and he doesn't wear the straw hat, I thought was Fujin until they said it was Raiden.
There's literally no defining feature of Raiden, despite Raiden being, aside from Scorpion, probably the most iconic character from the franchise.
I would have guessed and I would have known it was him immediately if he just had the hat on.
Yeah, because everyone knows the hat. Everyone knows that Raiden wears the straw hat.
Why would you make him look like Fujin if it's not Fujin?
Exactly.
Anyway, so they fight. They get their asses kicked.
Obviously, Johnny Cage dies in the first.
Johnny Cage dies in the first.
He just gets his neck broken or like his head ripped off or something.
Pretty much. No, so he Shao Kahn uses Johnny as a hostage, and he says, give up or I'll kill Johnny, and you don't want to.
The least likable Mortal Kombat character.
And then Raiden's like, okay, trade his place with mine. And then Shao Kahn's like, okay. Raiden goes to walk towards Shao Kahn, snaps his neck anyway.
Yeah.
He just doesn't care. Snaps Johnny's neck, and then this big totem comes out of the ground, lifting him up. That's it. And then they leave him to die, and then they leave him dead. Don't care. No tears from Sonya. Only
Sonya,
now I want
for the first, the next 10 minutes maybe. Sonya's like, oh no, my boyfriend is dead. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. Oh, I want to be the one to kill Shao Kahn because he killed. Well, they keep calling him Kahn, but Kahn is just the title.
Yeah, because there's also Kotal Kahn in Mortal Kombat 11. Kahn is his position.
They call him call him Shao. It's not Kahn.
Yeah.
They say Kahn as if it's his name. That really pissed me off.
Yeah.
But anyway, they go, they say Kitana's the answer to all of this, some weird BS. And so they're like, seek. Who is it they have to seek? Or no, they have to go to Shao Kahn's place.
Yeah. Because
Sindel and Kitana put them together and they can fix all this. They can fix. Yeah. They can stop Verge.
Also, once again, I'll restate. I'm not that familiar with the Mortal Kombat lore, but isn't Raiden like a god? He could slap Shao Kahn. Isn't he the god of Earthrealm?
Yeah, but I can't really remember because I remember
I'm pretty sure he's the god of Earthrealm, and the first bit of the movie takes place in Earthrealm. So he's at his power base. Can't he just slap Shao Kahn right there?
No, but I think it's because he's in Earthrealm, he doesn't have as much power.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I think that's the excuse they make, and because of that, Shao Kahn bodies him immediately.
Yeah, exactly. But Shao Kahn bodies him immediately, but then for the rest of the movie, Shao Kahn is useless.
He doesn't talk. He uses those underlings. He just talks.
Yeah.
And then so they're about to go, and then they face up with who I thought was originally. I think it was. I actually corrected it right. It was the Cyber Lin Kuei Smoke. I actually got that one right.
Yeah.
Because I've seen 9. I know Smoke. and then I know 10, which has Sector.
Yeah.
Or I don't think it's called Sector, it's Triborg.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
then
the Cyberlink way from the original.
they fight, and then they're about to get blasted by like a chest cannon by.
Oh my god, the chest cannon looks.
But then Sub-Zero comes in. And
No.
flying on his front.
This was the bit of the movie where I sort of lost my mind when Sub-Zero appears.
But then he's like, "Oh, but you're dead from first movie." No, it's not. It's me. I'm his younger brother. I'm not, and then I'm taking his place as Sub-Zero, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then Scorpion shows up.
No.
And they fight over a bridge that Sub-Zero made over this place, which they didn't even need because they could jump over it.
Yeah, later on, like the whole thing, like Sub-Zero makes the bridge because Liu Kang can't get over this gap. So Sub-Zero makes a bridge, but then when the bridge breaks, Liu Kang just jumps the gap. Because
obviously they fight, Scorpion looks like he gets knocked off, but then Sub-Zero's about to fall off. Liu Kang leaves Kitana on the other side of the bridge to then help Thingy, and then Scorpion shows up behind her and like
what happens then? It's like he like creates like a purple portal.
He doesn't use his very iconic flame teleport.
Yeah.
No, he like makes this like purple transition.
Yeah.
And, like just like warps himself, using like a wormhole.
He like swallows them up rather than him just like falling through a hole in the ground, which is what he's known for.
And then Sub-Zero says, "Oh, Liu Kang, you fucked up."
Pretty much.
Go to Nightwolf to Animality, and you'll win or something. And then he's never in the movie again.
Yeah.
And then also joins something amazing as well. Scorpion isn't even in the movie again. He's in it for 2 minutes.
The literal most iconic character in all of Mortal Kombat.
And then during this, Sonya gets Jax. They fight. Who I thought was Sector, but it's someone else. It's a different Cyberlink way. He's yellow. I can't remember his name. Cyrax.
No, Sector is the yellow one.
No. I've looked on the Wikipedia. It's not Sector.
Oh right, I know Ermac's the red one. That's all I know.
No. I'm talking about Cyberlink way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Ermac. Oh my god. Right. No. Sidetrack on Ermac. Shao Kahn kills Ermac, right? Because he's like talking back to him or whatever.
Actually, no.
Yeah. No.
It isn't Ermac.
I know, but I thought it was.
No.
But no, he just killed a guy who
had
a guy pretty much the same costume as Ermac.
Hey, do you want to know who it was, Mason? You wouldn't know because you're not very familiar with Mortal Kombat.
Go on.
It's Rain.
Rain?
Yeah,
Rain. Yes, he's just been added to Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He has a purple costume. You probably didn't see it in the awful lighting.
The terrible lighting. But in the lighting, he just looks like a cosplayer of Ermac.
The only right way that I found out that it was a different guy was because the camera angle. Because it shows Ermac talking to Shao Kahn, and then it cuts to him talking to pretty much that looks like an exact identical, but just with a kind of different voice, and it kind of threw me off.
It did, yeah, because he kills Rain, and then it like pans to Ermac, and I'm like, he throws him into a pit of fire, even though Rain can teleport using water. Couldn't he just do that in mid-air? No, he's just so devoted to Shao Kahn that he's willing to be brutally murdered by him for literally no reason.
I mean, he kind of sounded not very into it after he was thrown, but you know. I hate this movie.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. It's was I right? Where is it?
I think my personal favorite.
Yeah, it was right. Cyrax.
Okay.
Cyrax. Yeah. So you get Jax.
One more thing about Jax.
Go on.
When Sonya arrives in Jax's like lab or whatever, Jax is lying on the bed. With his newly metal arms, which of course is what he's known for. He's got these massive big cyber arms. And he makes a point of saying that he's only just like added these arms, right? These are his new additions, and when the ninjas like come in to fight them, he like just jumps straight off the bed and like straight stands up into a combat stance. Like,
Oh yeah. No.
if you had just put like if you had just replaced your arms with metal, you're not getting up that fast. You're not getting up at all.
But Mason, remember, he hasn't actually. It isn't like actually he didn't lose his arms. It's just metal over his arms.
I don't care, alright? There's no way he's, like, swinging up, like, jumping up from the bed instantly with, like, metal arms. There's no way. It's so stupid. And I know that's a nitpick, but it just got me. Like, why? Jax is awful in this film. I think he's my least favourite. He's just the stereotypical black man who speaks in slang.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Mildly, well, not mildly, it is racist. It is a racist depiction of him.
Yep. I mean, and I'm gonna say this as well, which will go on to a scene. It's very, very, very sexist. This movie.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely sexist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. After that fight with Cyrax, they go out and then they fight. Well, Sonya.
Yeah, Sonya
fights Melina, who Sonya mistakes for Katana.
Yeah.
They fight in a mud puddle.
I was very uncomfortable watching this.
Fighting in a mud puddle, getting all muddy, constant ass shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she defeats him. She defeats like the fight's like 3 to 5 minutes long.
It's so It's definitely the longest fight in the film.
And then she just is. And then she defeats her, and then Sonya defeats Melina, and then that's the end for Melina. Don't see her again. And then,
considering she's like a much better character than this random centaur guy, which they made for this movie.
And then the totem that Johnny was initially on turns into a real creature and like goes to like really weird stop frame animation.
Ooh, yeah. I burst into laughter when I saw that part.
Yep. And then Jax comes to, like, body blow it like 20 times, and then it goes into like this fucking, and then it goes into this like it goes into a hole, like submerges into the ground, and that's it. And then you don't see it again until like 40 minutes later. And then the comment by Jax himself was like, "You look pretty good in mud."
I know. I was literally just about to say that. Oh my god.
Okay. And then
I know this was in the 90s, but like, Jesus Christ.
And so next part, during this, Thingy's going to, whatchamacallit? Not Katana. Yeah, Katana's imprisoned in Shao Kahn.
She's just sort of like in a cage, just like on the conference table.
Yes.
Like on the same table that they were just sitting around talking like a few minutes earlier. She's just sort of there now.
Yeah, she's just used it up.
I like to think that they didn't have enough space, like they didn't know where to put her. So they just sort of like put her on the table.
Like his huge manor is like only 3 rooms big.
Yeah, exactly. That's all the production company could afford.
Well, we got to make room for the fire pits.
Oh.
Yeah, she's sitting there. They confront. There's like, oh, why don't you just kill me now? It's like a live bait catches things better than a dead one. I actually kind of like that line. It's the only good thing I'll say about this movie.
But it doesn't make sense anyway, because why do you want the rest of the Earth Squad there?
Because they've set up a trap.
But his goal is to like merge the realms or whatever, and they have like a week, and it's just like this stupid time frame for no reason, like this ticking clock scenario that just doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't increase tension. It does nothing.
Exactly. So during that as well, Liu Kang goes to meet Nightwolf. He gets pounced on by a wolf. Turns out it was doing an animality and into a wolf, and the
animality. I love and hate that word. Exactly. It's just a persona.
Yeah, I will. And he's all really like the character of like the really like serious, strong character of Nightwolf completely gone, changed for like a cocky guy.
Yeah.
Really, I hate it.
I hate it. Nightwolf is one of my favorites from Mortal
And then
Kombat, and yeah.
exactly, like Mortal Kombat 9. But yeah,
Yeah.
and so he's like, you can't defeat Shao Kahn just yet because you're too weak. So I'm going to set you up with trials. And so he's like, I need to put you into a dream state. And he's like, well, how do I do
Yeah,
that?
he says I'm gonna set you up with these challenges. He only does one of them.
Yeah.
Like,
So
what?
they get him in a dream state. He's like, okay, it's the long way or the easy way or the short way. And then he's like, oh, I'd rather do it the short way. And then Nightwolf's like, okay, I thought you'd say that. Then whacks them on their head with the butt of his axe. Won't make him fall asleep. And then he talks to like some god, and then Jade shows up.
Oh,
and then,
Jade.
like pretty much naked.
She's
and then
she's as
she's
bad
like-
in the movie as she is in the game.
She's about to like do with him. And then
Yeah.
he's like, oh, my heart belongs to Katana. And then they fight, and then it ends up that like he doesn't kill her, which then he passes the test. It was all a test to begin with, and we were like, well, what was the point? And
There
then
was literally no combat training there.
exactly
It
there
was
is
just
none.
training, like, I don't know, like,
Oh.
training him not to sleep with Shao Kahn, I guess. Like,
I mean, he's sexy.
that bald
But then
head.
and we need to finish this story before we can talk about how bad it is.
Yeah.
So pretty much, then they all group up, and then Jack says, "Who's the hottie?"
Mm.
to Jade,
Oh.
and then they meet up, and then they meet up with Raiden again, who has now got short hair, which kind of like made me look, okay, that kind of looks like Raiden now, but still without the hair, still without
But I
the
swear
hat.
Raiden wears, like, a sort of balaclava thing anyway. So you can't
I
even
don't
see his hair.
No, but I don't know. But yeah, they meet up with him, and then so he talks with the elder gods, saying like, "Oh,
What the hell are the Elder Gods in this movie?
They are just spirits of elements.
They're
That's all we
like
need to
bad CG.
Who cares? Yeah, really bad
Yeah.
CG.
We
then-
can skip that part. Nothing really. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, Sindel and Katana are the key to
Yeah.
solving this problem, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then so when when Raiden first sees Jade, he says like, Liu Kang is like, "Who's this?" And like, I hope she fights as good as she looks.
Oh god.
So uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
And the worst thing is, Liu Kang agrees with him, saying, "Oh, she does."
Yeah.
Oh, and then they go to God, what happens next? They
That's pretty much where the story stops.
yeah.
Then it's
pretty
just
much,
like a big final battle, and you know.
Then like yeah, they go to save Katana, and then they like Liu Kang goes to save Katana. He does. By the way, like Shiva and all the other characters have been in it for like a minute.
Yeah.
Nothing has been shown.
Yeah.
So then, so they fight Tarkotans, which look dreadful. Their blades on their arms look as flimsy as foam.
Oh, is that Baraka or not?
Tarkotans.
Yeah.
But it isn't Baraka because there's more than one.
Yeah, there is more than
So
one. Yeah.
It isn't Baraka. It's just they're random. They don't speak. They're just
Yeah.
they're like "Arr." And then-
Thanks for that.
and then she gets him out of the he uses a blade to get him out of the cage, and then because the cage is elevated above the table, and then so they run out, and then Shiva's like, "Oh, you don't stop her." Pretty much how good the voice acting is, or the acting is. And then so she runs to get them. Then Liu Kang breaks the chain. The cage falls on her. She's dead.
Nice.
She's in the movie for 4 minutes. Didn't even get a fight scene.
Yeah.
Didn't even fight. Only
Despite the
fought
fact
once.
that she's probably the most physically capable of all of the bad guys, apart from Shao
Only-
Kahn, obviously.
Only fights once,
Yeah.
which is when both the centaur guy and her get into choking holds because they are like having a squabble, and that was like randomly in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
So then then obviously they all meet up and find each other again. Oh, everything's happy, and it's like, okay, Jade knows a secret entrance, so then we'll surprise attack Sindel, and then so they get Sindel, but then they also fight these who's he called? The guy who can the acid ninja. What's he called?
Oh, what? Not Reptile.
Yeah, reptile.
Yeah.
They're like reptile-like ninjas, not reptile because there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
So the entire thing is like, oh, Raiden will take on the reptile ninjas, whereas you guys can take on Sindel. Okay, the entire scene is Raiden fighting these 3 things, and then it cuts to the other characters have already beaten Sindel.
Despite the fact that the fight with Sindel would have been a much more interesting fight.
Yes, exactly.
It's just
But
that
and then so we have Sindel lying down, and then she's like, and then Raiden's like, okay, if you reunite your love with your mother, then it will bring peace, and then it could possibly help stop this thingy. And then she's like, oh, cool. And then I was like, hi, mother, it's me, I love you. And then shit goes down. It didn't actually. It was all a ruse.
God, I hate this movie.
Jade was a double agent. She was
what a surprise!
Even though she looked shifty the entire time,
yeah,
nobody.
There was literally no one who thought she was a good guy.
And then I'm pretty sure in that fight she dies. And then Sindel, like retreats. No, yeah, she retreats with Jade. Oh yeah. She Jade retreats with Sindel. And then Shao Kahn's like, you failed me, so you will die. And then the monster from the rune, like 40 minutes ago, comes out of the wall and eats a hole in one and then goes back into the wall. No question, no answers, no questions, nothing.
Yeah, it feels like I'm simultaneously watching half a film and like 4 films.
Exactly.
It's like I'm watching 4 unfinished films mashed into one. There's no explanation for anything. There's no character motivation. Literally, the movie starts with no preamble whatsoever. Just Shao Kahn arriving. That's literally how it starts.
Yep. And so.
Oh my god.
And then after that we get the big final battle scene.
It's not big. It's not even a battle. It reminds me of Dragon Ball Evolution. God.
So it's Jax versus a centaur guy. I think it's Kitana versus Sindel, and then it's Liu Kang versus obviously Shao Kahn. And then who's Sonya against?
No one cares. The movie certainly doesn't.
Sonya's against like these. Sonya's against Ermac and a form of Noob Saibot, which Ermac controls.
Yeah.
So everything like, oh, we're all losing, but then Jax takes off his metal arms to reveal his real human arms.
Wow. And
then you see the metal arms fall to the ground with big sparks, even though you can see they're made out of foam. They crease on each other. Metal wouldn't do that.
Yep.
Even adding sparking visuals in post-production doesn't make something mechanic.
Like, you could have just made it out of plastic or something. It would have been more realistic.
Exactly. So then he like uppercuts like the abdomen of the goddamn centaur, which then makes everybody so cool. Tana blocks a kick from whatchamacallit, from Sindel. Liu Kang does like big punches and was fighting back, and then he's like, "Oh, you're so weak, you're weak," and then he becomes like, "Oh, now I'm angry. Now I'm gonna transform. Use my animality I definitely trained for, and transform into this weird dragon creature, like Jason the Argonauts looking ass hybrid of like." And then, like, all stop frame animation, none of the lighting fits.
Yeah, it's awful. So gloomy, and you can barely see him when he transforms.
And there's lightning, right, in the background.
Yeah.
But the lightning doesn't affect the lighting on
there's lightning, but there's no light.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then Shao Kahn's like, haha, you want a true battle? Okay. He transforms into this weird, like, multi-headed Hydra-looking thing.
What?
Oh, random. Okay, random go back to Scorpion. Why is his kunai with chain alive?
Oh yeah, it's like instead of just a knife, it's a snake.
It's a 2-headed snake with like actual like living like snake heads on
Yeah,
it.
and also, I don't know whether you noticed this, but when he says the iconic line "Get over here," it's ripped directly from the game.
Exactly. No, I was like they just ripped that. He
Yeah,
doesn't say it.
it's the exact same thing
Yeah.
from the original arcade game.
Back to it. They fight 30-second long thing, and then they both fall off of the big building area,
God, I hate this movie.
and then they transform back into humans.
God, it's so.
Oh yeah, and before that, I completely forgot because it was so forgettable. Shao Kahn kills Raiden because he gave up his immortality for like a better chance or something. Fucking hell.
God, oh no, what? I don't care.
Yeah, and then Raiden's dead, and so it's like, yeah, and then so like Shao Kahn and Raiden's dad is there, and he's like, "Oh, I always knew you were weaker than this with my other son, Shao Kahn," and then they both fight, and then like, how does he even win? I can't even remember. Like then like Liu Kang like does like big punch, which like makes him like dissolve or something, and he was actually like a big like dragon in like from the inside, like this like meat suit comes off of him. He like dysmorphia comes off, and then like everything just like these like stock images of like of like tracking shots of like the Golden Gate Bridge and like the Eiffel Tower.
It's like, where does this come from?
Complete stock images. And everything's back to normal. Sindel's a happy person now. She's not evil anymore. It was just Shao Kahn's bringing her back.
There were no
life.
Consequences except for Raiden's death, but he doesn't matter.
No, but then they bring him back. The Elder Gods bring him back to life as an Elder God.
Yeah. So he didn't die. He just got a power boost.
And also now he also is in place of Shao Kahn, so he rules 2 realms.
Yeah.
And then it ends on them walking into the camera like all happy, and then it's with Katana and Liu Kang's like, "Oh, I love you. Oh, I love you too." They kiss. And then the movie ends.
God.
The movie ends like that. Where did Scorpion go? Where was Sub-Zero gone?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Why did they make this movie? It's
the
awful.
Love of God, don't watch this film.
Where did the creature go? Why was Scorpion's kunai with chain alive? Where did he go? Why does he not just teleport using fire and this weird purple warp thing? Why are everybody's tattoos alive with dragons? I didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, no, we don't need to get into that.
They used the exact same footage of like the dragon being killed every single time they defeat the enemy. It's just
like
it gives me an aneurysm. It is one
like
of
the cheapness of this movie. It looks like a porn parody.
No. It felt to me like a student project film.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so bad.
I'm
struggling to even rate this.
It's worse than The Room. I can say this.
At least The Room had that like so bad it's good value. This is just insane.
It's like I tried to laugh, but I couldn't even get a laugh out because of how bad it was. Because I was the
only laughs I got were like the scenarios I was imagining in my head. Like, not even that the movie was giving me. It was so dumb. It's like, the hardest I laughed was when Jax got up from the operating table, and I was like, imagine if he just fell flat on his face. That was the hardest laugh I had.
Yep. Oh god, and it's like he ripped off the fucking metal things like the metal bindings.
Yeah.
Just ripped them off with his hands. And it's like, what after he'd like just been unplugged from like all this medical shit.
That's not how the human body works.
So overall, I hate this movie.
I gotta give it a 1.
Wouldn't even give it that. Half 0.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
The only 0.5 I would give it is that it did make me laugh at that final ending scene of how bad everything looked.
Yeah. If you somehow, for some reason, would want to watch a Mortal Kombat film rather than play the games, Watch Scorpion's Revenge, the animated movie. Very good. It's very good.
Or just watch the cutscenes.
Yeah, or just watch the cutscenes
Mortal
from
Kombat 11,
yeah,
10, 9. Just do
any
that.
of them. Don't watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation. That's all we've got to say about that.
Right. Now that we're done with that, thank God. Finally
You went
finish
off. You really hate this movie.
I'm sorry. I had to.
No.
I had to make everyone suffer with me.
Yeah, of course. We have to share the pain. That's what we do here.
Right. Now you can finally talk about the news, and we can finally end the episode after that.
Yeah.
It's been an extra long one today.
Exactly, extra long. I will skim over the news. We've got a bit of news. We'll go to manga news first. Masashi Kishimoto will take over from the newest chapter as the writer for the Boruto manga. Now, Masashi Kishimoto is the writer of Naruto. Boruto was not written by him up until now.
What?
And I'm sure everyone would like to think that means it's not canon.
Oh my god!
But he's gonna write it, and I hope this is him saying, yes, I know this series is trash, and he's stepping in to make it better. I hope, and we'll see where it goes. I personally don't mind the Boruto manga that much. Obviously the anime is terrible. I don't mind the manga, so we'll see where it goes. Let's go straight on. I've got one piece of comic book news. Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok, who are the writer and artist of Three Jokers, which I've already mentioned, are planning a sequel.
Oh.
Gonna be great. Can't wait for that, because it did leave on a cliffhanger, which I won't spoil. Read it if you haven't. So moving on to some film news. Black Panther 2 Marvel says they won't digitally replace Chadwick Boseman. Now, obviously, Chadwick Boseman, the actor who played Black Panther, tragically passed away earlier this year due to a battle with cancer. Marvel are saying that they won't CGI his face in like they did with Carrie Fisher, with Princess Leia in The Last Jedi. Thank God. That is so disrespectful. I really hate that practice of CGIing a dead actor's face in. And hopefully Black Panther will see his younger sister, Shuri, step into Black Panther, which she does in the comics, and I actually like her better than T'Challa as Black Panther. Also, nobody but me cares about this, but Transformers 6 has been confirmed and production will start soon.
Transformers, Michael Bay?
Not directed by Michael Bay, but set in the same universe. Michael Bay has left the project.
I'm sad but happy.
Yeah, so I'm sad because Transformers, I love Transformers, I absolutely adore Transformers. The Michael Bay films are just funny because of how over the top they are, and we'll see where this goes.
Please have Bumblebee.
Yes, Bumblebee was not directed by Michael Bay.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully it's a Bumblebee.
Yeah, hopefully it's good like that. I like Bumblebee. I think it's the best one of the live action Transformers, apart from the first one, the original.
Because they actually tried.
Yeah, exactly. Also in film news, Scream 5 has finished filming. Good. I like Scream, the horror franchise. Scream 5 just called Scream. So this may be a reboot.
Come back.
Yeah, it's back. It might be a reboot. I think it should be, considering there are 4 already, and they have gotten more and more stale as time goes on. I would like to see a Scream reboot.
Who would have thought?
I would like to see a Scream reboot. We'll see how it goes.
Let's just hope it isn't a Freddy and Jason reboot.
Oh, we're not even getting into that because I could talk for hours.
I would totally do that.
Also, an announcement: a new project from Code Geass is going to be unveiled on December the 5th. Interesting. Code Geass, on a lot of people's top anime list, rightly so. It's a very good series. It's had an OVA series. It's had 3 movies. And now a new project is going to be announced on December. No info as of yet. We'll see. Also, right, we'll get straight onto game news because we have got quite a bit of game news. I'll try and fly through it. Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, has said that Xbox does intend to continue buying out game studios and adding them to their mantle so that games will only be exclusive to Xbox. I hate this.
I could hear it in your voice.
I hate this. They've already bought Bethesda, which, they've bought Bethesda's parent company, which name I can't remember, which owns Bethesda and ID Software, among others. So they own Doom now.
I'll say I hope they don't mess up the Ancient Gods Part 2.
Yeah, they own Doom, they own Fallout.
Fallout's already
yeah, Fallout's dead anyway.
You can't fuck it up any more than they already have.
Yeah. God damn. Stop. I don't like the idea of exclusives anyway, but I like them even less in the hands of Xbox. Also in Xbox Series X shortages will continue until at least April because of Microsoft's stock situation.
April?
Yes. So...
They didn't think to overstock massively.
Yes.
Oh,
it adds to another reason why I don't like Xbox. On
any lighter news?
Pardon?
Any lighter news?
Lighter news? Yes, but there is also some more dark news on PlayStation's side.
Oh no.
PlayStation executive Jim Ryan, who is the Phil Spencer of PlayStation, says that $70/£70 is the right price for games nowadays, and they will not sell them at anything less. Yeah. I also hate this. I think the price for a AAA game should be about £40, personally. If it's a massive game, like, I don't know, like GTA 5 when it came out, like that was the game of the decade or whatever, then yes, it should be a little bit more expensive. But 70 quid for every game, like Bug Snacks, 70 quid, I wouldn't pay that much. Miles Morales, 70 quid, I wouldn't pay that much. So like yeah, this is sort of a dark portrait of things to come for console gaming, and I'm glad that I'm sticking to PC.
Yeah.
Also in PS5 news, PS5 Amazon orders, customers have reported receiving cat food, Nerf guns, or empty boxes instead of PS5s.
Why would you buy it off Amazon?
I know.
Ugh.
Get it together, Amazon. I don't know if this is a stock thing. It probably is. I don't think you're doing it deliberately, but get it together.
Come on, but I actually like Amazon. Come on.
Jim Ryan also says, he was interviewed earlier this week. He dodged around the question of PS5 exclusivity for the new God of War game. He was asked if it was exclusive, and he just went on a sort of tangent. Didn't answer the question.
Here at Sony, we... God.
Yeah. So this has worried a lot of people, because God of War 4 was sort of the defining PlayStation 4 Pro game. Definitely. Made full use of the hardware. People were expecting God of War Ragnarok to make full use of the PS5 hardware, and obviously it won't be able to do that if it's also made for PS4. So people are worried about that. I personally think it will be exclusive, because I can't see anything above God of War 4 running on PS4, personally. It's already like a jet taking off when you start to run God of War 4, so...
Especially if you've already, big owned PS4 already.
Yeah.
It turns from a jet engine to, a rocket.
Exactly. Some lighter news, some wholesome news, Demon Souls news. It's not about the door, which I know everybody's talking about the door. It's not about the door. Demon Souls easier difficulty was scrapped because it wasn't our place to do it, says Bluepoint Studios. I like that. Because
that's really good.
They know the fan following Demon Souls has, and they're like, yeah, we know it's meant to be a Souls game. It's a hard game. We're not going to make it easier. We're not the original developers. It's not our place. And I like that. Demon Souls is great.
I like why they didn't change most things.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't want to change what the game was originally.
Exactly.
I dig that. I'm so hyped to get it.
It looks amazing. I haven't seen much of it because of spoilers. I know you haven't
either. I don't even want to try and spoil it for myself. I haven't played the original, and I'm so hyped to play this.
Yeah.
Any else?
More Snyder Cut news. Snyder Cut will of Justice League will include 150 minutes of unseen footage. So that's pretty big. For those of you who don't know, Zack Snyder is releasing his original vision for the Justice League. It's going to be 6 hours long, split into 6-hour-long segments on HBO Max. It's either coming late 2021 or early 2022. It's going to be 150 minutes of stuff we haven't seen before. I'm hyped. I like Zack Snyder as a director, and I think DC did do him dirty with Justice League, and I feel like this is going to be a much better film than what we got.
Fingers crossed.
We got Cyberpunk news. A bunch of new trailers have dropped for Cyberpunk. The hype is getting real now. We're sort of on the home stretch, hopefully. If the game doesn't get delayed again, we are on the home stretch. As it stands, it's set to release on December 10th. I hope it does.
Just want Keanu to be inside of me.
Yeah. The new trailer reveals that Keanu is not a character. He is in fact a computer program that you inject into yourself, so only you can see him.
I love.
Yeah, So he's with you always, sort of like the Joker in Batman Arkham Knight. If anyone besides me enjoys that game.
Not yet.
New James Bond game.
Oh.
Coming from the creator of Hitman, IO Interactive, who have made Hitman and Hitman 2, the newest games in the franchise, and soon to... Did Hitman 3 come out? I don't know. I'm not really following the franchise. I think it did. I don't know. But yeah, IO Interactive have announced Project 007.
Oh, wow.
We know nothing else about it other than that it exists. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Jump Force news. No one plays Jump Force except me. Giorno Giovanna from JoJo's Part 5 is going to be in it now. We all saw it coming. We all knew when a JoJo character was announced. We all knew it was going to be Giorno.
Yep.
Let's move on. Netflix live-action Cowboy Bebop show reveals 6 more cast members. I hate the idea of a live-action Cowboy Bebop. We can move on.
Oh.
Kate Bishop joins Marvel's Avengers. So Kate Bishop is like Hawkeye's apprentice. No one cares about Marvel's Avengers. Let's move on. To the big news. A data leak at Capcom Industries in Japan.
Oh.
The biggest data leak that has ever been seen in video game history.
Oh,
this
shit.
is tragic. Hundreds of employees' personal data has been leaked online.
Oh my god.
Hundreds of well, not hundreds, but dozens of games have been leaked, including Dragon's Dogma 2. So Dragon's Dogma is like a JRPG. So Dragon's Dogma 2 and Street Fighter 6.
Oh my god, I feel so bad for them.
Yeah. A bunch of new things. We have Resident Evil Outbreak. Obviously Resident Evil Village has not even been released yet. Where Resident Evil Outbreak is the working title of the next one, set to be releasing Q4 2021, so the end of 2021. I don't know whether to be happy or sad because it did get leaked in this data leak, but there will be a Resident Evil 4 remake in 2022. And I'm happy for that because I like Resident Evil 4. I think it's the best one.
Oh my god. Is it really?
I think so, personally.
No. I mean, is it getting remade?
It's getting remade. It's going to be 2022.
Nah.
New Mega Man game.
Cool.
New Monster Hunter game.
Oh yeah, Monster Hunter Rise, I believe.
No, Well, it's called Monster Hunter 6 as a working title. It may be called Monster Hunter Rise. I don't know.
Oh wait. Maybe.
No, Monster Hunter Rise is the Switch game. This is an entirely new game.
Oh yeah, because Monster Hunter World has finished updating now.
Yes, it has.
Oh, big rip.
So we've got 3 Resident Evil games actually announced. We've got Resident Evil Outbreak, Resident Evil 4 Remake, and then Resident Evil Apocalypse.
What?
So that sort of spoils where the franchise is going.
Yep. I wonder if Outbreak leads
So we had Resi Biohazard, Resi 7, which is in one house. Then we have Village, which seems to have the virus spread to a village. Then we have Outbreak, which, is not out yet, but seems to be the outbreak. and then we have Apocalypse.
I wonder what's gonna happen in that one.
Or
like some Resident Evil, is it 3-esque sort of thing?
Yes, Resi 2 and 3 were the big Outbreak games. Yeah. Final Fight remake. If anyone still plays Final Fight, the fighting game from the 90s. Street Fighter 6 apparently coming 2022.
It's big rip that got leaked.
Yeah, it's a big rip. It got leaked. I've only just.
How good it's gonna look compared to Street Fighter 5. Oh.
Yeah, I'm one of the only people who like Street Fighter 5, but you know, cool. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. For the news, so that's pretty much it for the episode. 2 hours exactly. Jesus Christ, we really got into Mortal Kombat that time.
It was worth it. I think we needed to get it out. We need to get it out.
I mean, we were originally planning for these episodes to be like maybe an hour or just over an hour long, but I think we are too talkative for that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you have the opportunity and the power to skip through things, so you know you have to.
If you don't want to listen to 2 hours of us, timestamps in the description. Listen to what you want. I don't care.
Yeah, just you know. I mean, if you want to watch all 2 hours, then, you know, be our guest.
It'd be great. I'll know. YouTube analytics exist.
Yeah. It appears that only 75% of my subscribers are watching. No, wait, I'm set up.
That's the wrong way around. Anyway. I think that brings the Weeb Couch episode 2 to a close. Make sure, if you like this episode, like it. If you didn't like it, don't dislike it. Just don't watch it. Make sure to subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Spotify. Links will be in the description. Dan did the episode art. It's absolutely amazing. Follow him on Instagram. His Instagram's in the description. Absolutely brilliant artwork. I can't stress that enough. Thank you so much.
God, shut up.
Get in touch, leave a comment, DM us on Instagram, email us, our email's in the description. What do you want us to cover? Anything you don't want us to cover? Anything you want us to change? If you don't like 2 hours, we don't care because we just talk. We don't have
If you want more Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I will kill you.
we could do a 6-hour Mortal Kombat Annihilation in-depth review, but we will not be alive by the end of it.
I think I'll die halfway through.
Exactly. Unless... So the life lesson for this episode is don't watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation and do play the Pathless. Do play Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Those are the life lessons.
A girl who's awkward.
Read about a girl who's awkward. Read about a guy who's awkward. Don't try and kill yourself. Life lessons.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. I think, unless you have any more ending comments, Dan.
I think Mortal Kombat Annihilation summed it up pretty well.
Yeah, I think that sucked the life out of you.
It did.
So until next week, I've been Mason. That's been Dan. See ya.